The Global Caregivers Network presents the first annual Global Male Caregivers Summit coming your way April 13th, 2024, beginning at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Register on Eventbrite to hear from the most amazing and powerfully inspiring men as they share caregiving from the male perspective. Grab your ticket today and we'll see you there.
Thank you again for inviting me to be a part of this global network of caregivers. And let's talk about this summit. We climb up a mountain. Some of us are forced into caregiving, and we traverse the hills, the valleys to get to a position of height. And that takes a lot of courage. We've heard about people going through guilt, grief, burnout, being selfish, being that fixer, that ego. At this level, we need to take a moment to hydrate and nourish ourselves. It's a part of the journey. And someone's talked about being healthy. It takes a lot of effort to stay on this path, to keep on moving forward, taking that step forward, having setbacks, and still continuing the momentum forward. It's hard. It's difficult. I always say to myself and to others, self-care, self-love, and self-preservation is essential to endure this season of caregiving. I live with no regrets right now. And that's extremely hard to kind of convey with words. You have to look inward and pull out what is there within you. And getting out here and sharing it with others is a part of my advocacy platform. The real hero in this whole story is my dad. He was the number one example of what a caregiver was or is when he was taking care of my mom, living with breast cancer and challenges with diabetes. And she passed away in 2008. But I saw what caregiver burnout was. And I didn't know it. I didn't know what that was. I didn't even know what a male caregiver identified as. But my dad was that example. And fast forward to today, I am here because of him. I'm being constantly taught by my dad. He is the teacher. He is the expert living with the disease. I've had to learn how to speak Alzheimer's and identify who I'm talking to. Am I talking to my dad or am I talking to Alzheimer's? And I have to listen very carefully. And it takes a lot of effort. And I attribute my accomplishments and the achievements not to me, but to the team. I belong to 6 caregiver support groups. I have a therapist. I'm in contact with my primary care physician. I have a caregiver coach. I am in contact with many dementia practitioners and a vast amount of other caregivers within the social media platforms. I have a lot of support. I stay in contact with my friends and family, and they are what support me as the champion I am. It's hard, no doubt. It is hard and difficult to go through these ups and downs day in and day out. The other day, I wrote down some things. It's like, am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? When will I know? How will I gauge my capacity? How is the standard of care that I'm providing for my dad and ultimately to myself? What measures the outcome? How do you gauge that? And what I wrote down next was, I'm frustrated, I'm ashamed, I'm sad, I'm angry, depressed. And those are all signs of burnout. And I go through burnout every day. But it's how I cope with that, how I overcome those challenges. And when I reflect, I smile. I smile because when my dad says, I'm grateful for my 2 sons and my granddaughter, and they're taking good care of me, that hits hard. It brings emotion. It fills me with gratitude and appreciation, knowing that I am doing the right thing. I'm in the right place. I'm not perfect. I'm not the best caregiver, but I'm present. I'm present, actively engaged with my dad living with Alzheimer's. And I get to see him flourish in a creative space where he's familiar, he's safe, and he's in comfort. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. I helped my dad through a difficult time. And I get to normalize Alzheimer's. I get to provide quality of life factors and instruments of dignity to walk him home. And that is a gift. One of my caregiver support members reiterates this all the time. You cannot do this alone. If you turn on the TV, you'll see a champion out there. And that champion has a team. They didn't do it alone. They did it with a circle of support. And I encourage everyone, if you're a new caregiver just coming onto the scene, seek out support. Seek out the resources within your community to empower you, to foster a mindset. This is a caregiver lifestyle, and it takes a mindset to open your eyes, to be able to learn, stay engaged, to be actively participating in your loved one's care. And that's hard. It's difficult. But it also tests your resolve and your patience. And it's ultimately, bottom line, a love story. This is a love story between a family caring for their hero, my dad. I appreciate being here, especially with these people, these other males. Some of them I know because of of their engagement on social media. They empower me. They lift me up. They give me an example of what I need to do for me. I'm so grateful for being here. And if I can help this one other person, one other male, get a perspective, an insight on this caregiver journey, then I've done my job. But I also have to take care of me. And that's a lot. So if you want to follow my journey on Instagram, look up Charlie Robot. On Facebook, Charlie does Charlie Things. You can find us on TikTok as well, Charlie_robot. And if you want to email me, email carloseveryday247@gmail.com. I'm open to chat, open to share my resources, what's working for me. I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to recognize that caregivers need help. And thanks to Sherelle in the Global Caregiver Speaker Series, this is a wonderful thing to highlight male caregivers and all that we do for our loved ones and how we can expand and explore other avenues to support other males and the rest of the caregivers out there. They're doing a thankless job. So thank you to caregivers. If no one's told you today, thank you. You're doing the best you can.
The Global Caregivers Network presents the first annual Global Male Caregivers Summit coming your way April 13th, 2024, beginning at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Register on Eventbrite to hear from the most amazing and powerfully inspiring men as they share caregiving from the male perspective. Grab your ticket today and we'll see you there.